Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 66. 66, get out of here, that's the wrong page. 66 of the Download Queue, your new favorite weekly place for all things gaming. And boy, do we have a crazy lineup to cover this week. Ton of awesome titles. Some I wasn't expecting. Unexpected week, but it's been eventful. I'm excited to get into it. Rounding down, we're almost in May. We're a few short days away, 4 months gone, quarter of the year gone already.
That's crazy.
God, what a time. Kyle, how are you
just
doing?
Keeps going. Doing good. Yeah, it's been a crazy week of gaming stuff. The NFL draft also all of a sudden was here. I've officially I'm more into wrestling and I keep up with wrestling way more than anything else. Had no idea. I was like, oh my God, it's Thursday. Round one's tonight. So that was that. So good week overall. Can't complain.
I can say thank you / you're welcome for taking our North Dakota boy over on your Raiders. New quarterback
Who are you
coming
talking
for you. What's Cam Miller?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Awesome.
We win a bunch of stuff over here and you're playing with the minor leagues, you know?
No, that's cool. That's cool that they got someone to tie to. Yeah, I fell off so hard of following football, especially the season they sucked. You know, they were awful. So to the point where it's not even worth watching. So I really just haven't kept up with it. But seeing people who actually are following it and report it, seeing them talk, it's just solid draft. Nothing crazy. I'm like, that's not what you want. You don't want to be in a position where you're like, oh, we need a big pick. We need to lay a splash. We need to make a splash. We need to make trades. Nah, you want to go through a draft and come out being like, all right, cool, solid. That's it. So we'll see. Maybe this season the Raiders will actually be fun to watch, but I doubt it. I'm going to keep with my wrestling until The Rock shows up randomly again because they need to sell tickets and to ruin everything.
If he decides to show up at all anymore.
I don't know. I'm thinking we got Money in the Bank in LA. We got Survivor Series in San Diego. We got the AAA thing, the new Luchador League they bought.
You don't care about that.
They got that the same day as Money in the Bank. I might be going to one of these shows.
Do it.
I don't know what that has to do with anything. So
live reporting.
We'll see.
From the ground. I'm sick. As mentioned, we are here to talk about games, and what a week for games. But before we get into the many awesome titles we've been playing, Kyle, I need to make a breaking announcement on this week's episode. This past Wednesday, as many people know, 10 p.m. my time, pre-orders for the Switch 2 went live. My phone was ready. 4 tabs open. GameStop, Best Buy, Walmart, and Target. Girlfriend's phone was open. Same 4 tabs. Ready to go. Signed in. Locked and loaded. We got in with Best Buy. Pre-order was in the cart. Wouldn't let us update anything. Target. Pre-order was in the cart. Wouldn't let us update. Kicked us out. Said the cart was empty. Refreshed the page. Cart was full with the Switch 2 again. Who knows? This whole time in the back end, Walmart, the little engine that could, hanging out in an unopened tab. In a queue line, just chilling. 10:59, that queue line popped and there was a Switch 2 pre-order waiting for me. So I can proudly announce that I will be receiving a Switch 2, being able to talk about it, cover it here on the podcast, do some stuff. It's so hard to record on those things. I'm not getting footage, but I can talk about it at least. Hands-on impressions, because Nintendo's gonna be whack with that.
Yeah. I walked into a GameStop and got one. Oh, it was great. No, imagine I almost. No, it's so fun. I'm happy. I had no idea if you got one or not, and I refused to ask. I was like, "I'll wait. We'll see. He'll tell me. He's either gonna be happy or sad." Glad you got one. I was not in the market to get one. I watched from the sidelines as people went into war and just seeing on all the social medias, different people reacting. People that I know that aren't deeply into games or I was surprised. I'm like, whoa, you even tried to get a Switch too. That's interesting, you know? So it was kind of widespread of people wanting to get this console and seeing them. It was in my cart. No, you bastards! Walmart sucks. Target. It's so funny. It was just funny to watch. I'm happy I don't have a daughter that's older to be like, I want the Switch 2. I'm aware of what that is, because then it'd be like, yeah, we're getting it. But I realized I got 2 Switch Lights and a Switch OLED. My friend, I'm gonna trade those in.
Trap those bad boys in, yeah.
Oh, duh. And then I have a PlayStation 5 sitting here that's not even plugged in.
Oh, damn.
It ain't plugged in right now. I might trade that in too.
Oh, he's going all in.
To keep one Switch for my daughter, like keep a Switch Lite, because then she can hold it a little easier. And at that point, who cares if she fucks that thing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. But the Switch OLED or the Switch 2, no, get your grubby hands off. But yeah, we'll see. I'm in no rush. I'll walk into GameStop. If they have it, I'll pre-order it one time and I'll do the trade-ins and get what I can for these and get a new console. We'll see. But I realized that this week and I was like, whoa, why don't I trade in the PlayStation 5?
The pieces are there.
Why am I keeping this thing? It's just sitting there.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised at how easy it was to get one. Like, the pre-order stuff that night of was a mess. A lot of people trying to get on sites at the same time. But overall, I haven't seen that many people in Facebook groups or wherever that either had their stuff canceled or just outright couldn't get one. And then the next day, GameStop opened theirs up when like store opened, and every GameStop seemed to have like 70, 80 plus total. I'm like, that's pretty good. I'm honestly shocked that it was as smooth sailing as it was comparatively to like how we thought it would be going in. But
yeah, it feels like a lot of the issues and site issues are a lot of traffic, and ultimately it's probably there's some back end stuff I bet that limits like bots and scalpers too. Like I know listening to people, like it seemed like for a lot of people they couldn't get like the autofill to work, like, and that makes sense as like if that's disabled and then the limit bots, right? Like obviously that's, who knows if that's what it is, but yeah, outside of obviously everyone's trying to get it, of course it's going to be busy trying to get into one door with 1,000 people trying to get in it, right? But outside of that, yeah, it seemed like fine. So I'm not worried long term until the price goes up and there's no longer state size inside and tariffs keep it out of the country. But we'll see if by the end of this summer I get one, or if I wander over into a GameStop and see if they have pre-orders and they say, yeah, here you go.
Cool, take my old Switches on this PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, sick. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll bring all my consoles in, please.
But yeah, I Mario Kart bundle.
That's exciting. Did you get the okay? Yeah, that was the.
And I also went in, first time ever, I also did a pre-order for a Pro controller on Nintendo. I've only ever
you don't have one?
I've only ever used Joy-Cons on the Switch One. I've never upgraded, got a Pro, like never was needed.
Oh, I have a Pro.
But I'm like,
it's great.
I'm still in my mind, I'm like, I should have done this. Financially, bad decision, but I'm that guy. I'm that type of guy. Sucks.
Yeah, it's future problems, right?
Yeah, worry about it in 2 months, a month and a half.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I have a Pro controller, which it's nice that they also are forward compatible, at least wirelessly, because the Joy-Cons are as well. Yeah, I love the Pro controller. I think it's like a third-party Xbox controller, right? I think that's a good way to describe it. And then it feels a little different, but very, very good controller.
I'm excited. Like I said, it's more like a month and some change, month and 6 days about till it comes out. So look forward to that here on the show and whatever else I can get done with that outside of video capture, because Nintendo. Yeah. But that's a future issue for future us. I want to look at the now, because we've both been playing some games, doing some overlap. I want to start with Marathon from Bungie. Your alpha gameplay experience got in, had their sort of mixed reactions we talked about before, caused them to open up NDAs for people to openly talk about, help get the word out, kind of do marketing and damage control on Marathon. How is it, the new extraction shooter from Bungie?
Yeah, I've been playing A lot. I think I have 5, 6 hours, 7 hours in it. Been playing honestly like hour to 2 hour chunks. And since it came out, beta, going, the first 5 play sessions, I ended it frustrated, not happy.
Oof.
Some matches, once you get past the tutorial, it feels pretty curated at first, right? Doing the tutorial contracts, pretty straightforward, teaches you what to do. After that, like to end that section, you have to exfiltrate, get out, successfully, and that took 4 attempts to do it. And the third one, it just enemy teams kept getting us. The last that one specifically, why I remember it, we were less than 2 minutes into the round, and we just bumped into another enemy team. They wiped us, and it was gone. And I just, all right, I'm done, and I quit the game out and played something else. I was like, damn, this is rough, because you lose all your gear, right? Everything is gone once you die there and get eliminated. It's rough. Very demoralizing at the beginning and such. However, over the last 2 days, so that was like 5 play sessions of ending with a team just getting us with, out of all those, no longer than 5 minutes, we were in the round before we get eliminated. And often it was like multiple times, less than 2 minutes, we're getting eliminated, which blows my mind and was demoralizing. But last 2 days, something's clicked. I get it. I'm having a blast with it now. This is my first extraction shooter fully, and like really getting into it and trying to figure it out. So like it makes sense, like losing all your stuff and like that being such a crucial thing of, if you don't exfiltrate, yeah, you're not getting anything. This is such a big part of extraction shooters, is getting in and extracting. And if you're not successful, you're not going to get the stuff out. Duh. That's just in the name. So once that kind of got through to me and I learned the game, learned the buttons, learned how the contracts in the game works, which are just basically bounties and basically what your missions are, it's fun. I'm having a fun time with it. The loop, I get it. Once you get past there and you exfiltrated successfully, once you get open to different factions. So you have the generic one, Cyber Acme, which is like the general. Then you have Nucleoric and Traxxas. And I've been focusing on the Nucleoric one. And that's how you're getting your story stuff as well. So Nucleoric is focusing on farming and agriculture. So essentially all the missions or all the contracts so far that I've done for Nucleoric have been go and scan these things in the locations on the maps that you're dropping into. And for them, it's all agriculture based. So we're trying to figure out why this colony on Tau Ceti 4 didn't survive. And you're scanning geological data, you're scanning agricultural data. And that's how they do the story there, right? And then Traxxas seems to be a little more, not aggressive, but like their contracts have been, I haven't done any, but you can see other people's contracts. Those have been open containers and eliminate people. So you can kind of see how they're the different focuses of each faction and how they're going to deliver story. Very interesting so far. But that loop of going in and doing something that the contract asks you, so like the ones I've been focusing on, scanning materials, and then you scan it, you complete the objective, you're good. Now you can exfiltrate right away, or I just follow the rest of my teammates and take it easy and we're good to go. So that loop has clicked and feels really nice. When I die, I don't care anymore. Like if we get eliminated, it's like, shit, that sucked. Bummer. Oh well, like I got past feeling like that's the end all be all. Fuck, I lost all my gear. Yeah, that's the point, It costs 500 or 300 to buy a starter kit to take into each run if you lose everything. And that costs 300. I have 14,000 credits, so like I can buy a starter pack easily. So very quickly, once you get into the game, I dying. Yeah, I understand and see why they said dying is going to happen a lot. You're not going to successfully exfiltrate every single time. Like it is hard. The AI is hard. They have great aim assist. Jesus, they can snipe you very, very quickly, and you get your shields down with 1 or 2 hits, and then you're like, fuck. It's not, so I get that, right? And it's not as demoralizing as it is at the beginning as I felt at first. So I'm loving the loop, like I said. it's still an alpha thing. The gameplay is not like Destiny. It's like, honestly, it's closer to like a tactical shooter, in my opinion, where I feel like you want to go quick in a Bungie shooter, but you don't in this. You want to like stop running around. You want to keep it chill. You have a 25-minute limit each round, but you don't need to rush. You can exfiltrate within 1 minute if you really wanted to, or you can wait to the very last second. So feels like there's a rush and like you have to go, but there's no reason to actually. And the slower the slower we took it, the more success we found, right? Of just taking it slowly and going through each thing. So I see it. I get what they're doing here, you know, and I still think there's a lot to learn from. Some of the some of the rounds being you drop in and all of a sudden another player team is behind you and boom, you're dead in 2 minutes. That's it, and you lost everything. That feels kind of weird. I wonder if they can add some type of thing that you can like upgrade your runner. That I don't know. We'll see. But I don't think it's nearly as bad as people were making it out to be. Even myself at the beginning, how it felt, I was like, oh, it's not that.
Cool. There's a lot to unpack there. I'll take over a bit to give you a breather. Have a drink.
I know, I just kept going. Apologies.
No, you're fine. Yeah, because I have questions. This has honestly been. I've almost seen next to nothing on this entire week, with as much as I'm on Twitter, which I didn't know if it's a bad thing, people just not caring type situation, or just so many other things happening. So it's nice actually getting a firsthand kind of experience with it, because I was not invited to the alpha. They do not like me. Thanks, Bungie. With the
This
classes,
alpha apparently is so limited. I didn't realize that. So yeah, thank you, Bungie, for letting me in. Apparently it's not a lot of people are in it.
Nice. With the classes, because that was something they talked a lot about in the live stream. How much, as far as kind of the customizations and like end game, if that's what it is, type of gear that you get? Because they brought up some stuff having someone have like a double jump or a triple jump at one point. Like, have you gotten any of that, or is any of that actually available to alpha?
Yeah, so right now there are 4 runners. I think there'll be more eventually. I think there's 6 in total, maybe 8. But there's 4 you can use from. I've only used one, not because I fell in love with them, just because I just haven't switched, honestly. I haven't found a need to. Your runners have different abilities and whatnot. So if you're on stream, you'll see the one I'm using as a seeker. It's tied to the left bumper. So you'll drop a little drone and it'll run around for I forget how long, and seek out enemies and then pop off like a grenade and take them out and whatnot. And then you have your ultimate tied to both bumpers there. And that will, for this character, let out a burst and ping enemies in your area. So if any enemies are within the range of that thing that you send out, they'll be marked on the map for a specific duration. So you can kind of see where people are, especially super helpful when enemy teams and when you're exfiltrating. But yeah, the other ones I know they can jump. They have like a tactical sprint, so they can kind of dodge and go a little faster. One of them can pop open a shield and such. But yeah, I haven't explored much of them. I've really just wanted to kind of figure out the game first and then get onto different runners. But I also found it incredibly helpful to have that radar system, basically, you know, to have that ping to tag enemies. Really like that. The drone is whatever. So the customization doesn't really happen with the runners. They just are who they are, right? And it doesn't seem like their kits are crazy specific. Again, I've only played one, so it's hard to comment too much. But the customization really happens in you have these cores that you can equip that can either upgrade how fast your shields recharge, will upgrade your movement speed, can upgrade your aim down sight, stuff like that, right? So that's where you can get more build specific. When you do contracts, you upgrade your faction rep. Eventually, you'll be able to buy specific things. So you'll be able to buy specific cores. You'll be able to buy specific implants. So you're going to be able to almost build craft specifically how you want to play. But all those choices and like the ability to buy those and diverse items and different things to kind of upgrade your own kit, that comes once you upgrade the faction far enough. And I've only done one. I haven't really gotten too many options, but now I could buy a backpack, which gives me 8 more slots, so I can bring back more each run and such. So instead of having to find one out in the field and get lucky and then not lose it and keep it, I now can buy one for 500. And like, wow, that seemed like a lot at first when I first got the option to buy that backpack. But now I'm like, oh, 14,500 isn't bad if I'm planning to like a resource heavy run, right? And I think now that thinking is coming through where, like, I literally just did it. Like, I have a fancy gun. I have a shield charge that gives me double shields, and I take half damage on those hits to the shield, so it's like makes me more resilient. I put those in my vault. I'm like, that's for a run where I'm like going to be doing more and trying to get to the end. But yeah, the upgrade and customization stuff is purely the items you pick up and the items you can buy, which are the same things as the items you can find in the map.
Nice. I will say, looking at this is your video you posted, just gameplay. The art style is more detailed than I was expecting from what they showed, because it was such a thing of like, we're doing the minimalistic thing. And
Well, interior, like the interiors look real good. It's classic Bungie, like, oh my god, the art style is so damn good. And you get outside, it looks a little different.
yeah, I was about to say,
But the
like,
art direction of like stylization of everything, yeah, it's real cool. But yeah, like it just looks like Bungie, just like a Bungie map right here, baby, and I love it.
nice. Last time we talked about this, one of your kind of hopes was that they would bring in sort of the strike aspect from Destiny into that. Is there any of that here outside of, you mentioned you're doing things
100%.
collecting intel or whatever, but does it go beyond that as far as mission structure?
I mean, definitely, but it's more open to what you choose to do. So, like I think I've done either myself or one of the other squad mates I've matched up with have done this almost every one run. Someone they ping this terminal, and then in that area you're in, you have the option you have to go find another terminal with a 3-digit number that they give you once you scan that first access terminal. So then that's like the little activity you have to do. And well, then when you do that successfully, it'll call down a giant ship that you can go loot and get some gear from and whatnot. So those are some of the activities you can do that are optional, right? That's just a choice you can choose to do. Sometimes that's tied to maybe one of your contracts, so that's why you would end up doing it as well. But those missions are overall it's like open-ended. So like the strike aspect, you're running in as a squad, and right, it's a linear mission in Destiny, a strike. This seems not linear. You get to choose it, and then you have choice, right? You have 25 minutes to do what you need to do, but that gameplay in a strike, the Destiny strike specifically that I'm referencing, like that's there within this, right? I think you just get choice. But being like having it built around a 3-player squad, right? Just like in Destiny's strikes, there are 3 players. That clearly, like that experience in crafting those strikes clearly is present within this. It's not as quick for sure. Like obviously a Destiny strike, there you can get in like in and out in like 2-3 minutes. If you're playing on the base difficulty 2 now, when you're like maxed out in OP, those are really, really quick. This is slow, like I said earlier, 25 minutes. There's no need to rush. You can exfiltrate whenever you want within that 25 minutes. So definitely it's not like that in a strike, but when all 3 of you are like going into a location and like taking the base, right, and looting containers and taking out the AI that are there, the moment to moment gameplay is there. And that's just Bungie though. So I wouldn't really attribute it to a strike. I think if you play Destiny, you might understand what I mean by that in explaining it. But if you're just a casual Destiny player and I say it's like a strike, no, it's not.
Last thing, looking at the multiplayer aspect of it, I guess, are the not the maps, but like when you load into a mission, when you get dropped in, you're starting out. does that act as sort of like an already existing world? Could there be people who have been in there for 15, 20 minutes already, or is it a fresh slate
No,
for everybody across the board?
it should be a fresh slate for everyone. They might be testing that. I do remember listening to an interview or some podcast where they talked about it, where they were testing that, like having people drop in at different times, so you possibly could enter a pre-existing world, but it kind of just fucked stuff up apparently. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were testing that during this alpha in real world limits, because like I said, there's multiple times we're in, within 2 minutes I'm out. Like we die, and it happens so quick. I think this is one of those moments potentially. Maybe I'm looking at the stream wrong. But yeah, like, so yeah, they don't do that. Everyone should load in at the same time. Sometimes I think you might be near or closer to another team than you think, or you both happen to angle right at each other, so you come head to head. That seems to be pretty random. I can't tell, like, you can hear people, like sound is a big thing. So if you really wanted to hunt down enemy player teams, you totally could, right? But I just don't think that is going to be that big of an issue at this point. Hard to tell though in an alpha.
Okay. Last thing before we head to the next thing, unless you got more. Do you see yourself committing to this in the future? Do you see it becoming this year's type of Call of Duty for you, where it's a drop in every couple nights a week, or what are your hopes going in after actually playing?
Yeah, as of right now, I mean, one thing, this alpha was 2 weeks, so we get it May 2nd, so I have till next Sunday to play it. That probably will tell me how I go, having a whole other week to play it. But I was thinking last night, like, oh man, I'm gonna miss the fact that I'm not gonna be able to play Marathon like next month, right? I'm like, that's kind of a bummer. So that's where I'm at now. I'm finding fun with it. I really am. I've only loaded in solo. I have not found anyone or have friends who also have a code. So I'm purely loading in a solo, and I think that's part of the concern, right? There's no solo queuing. I mean, outside of just loading in a matchmaking, but there's no solo mode. Like it's made to be 3-person. The whole world is designed around that, and that's not limiting at all. It's not limiting at all. If you've played Destiny as a solo player, you kind of understand what you're about to get into, and you understand that. And so far, people have, when you matchmake them, like, hey, I need to go to South Relay and North Relay, or I need to go to Hauler. I'll ping exactly when we drop down on the map, and they'll ping it to accept it, or they'll ping where they have to go, and then you could look on the map and then tab over, and you'll see like the contracts they have as well, so you can check them, like, oh, okay, they need to go here. If you work together, it's so much easier. And so far, the people in this alpha have been really helpful and work together and such like that. So I totally see myself picking this up for $40. Like that, they said it's not a full $70, but it is going to have a price to it, and I could see myself picking this up for sure, because hopping in and hopping out is fun. Now, long term, of course, every season you lose everything and it resets. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting, but as of right now, yeah, I definitely can see myself picking this up just to have.
Fair enough. And you won't have long to wait. Again, Marathon has September 23rd release date, I believe, is the correct day. So not that long to wait. You would assume an open beta period in between now and then as well, to try and get more people on board. And yeah, hopefully.
I was gonna say, last thing, like network wise, connection wise, feeling wise, the game feels fantastic. It's just like fine tuning everything, honestly, and like the economy and like the gear and stuff like that. But like gunplay, everything else, even art, everything is in a very, very, very good place. So yeah, if you are interested in trying to get into a closed alpha, they'll probably do another one, at least one, maybe another or a couple. Go to their Discord. Find it on Bungie.net. You have to sign up through that way. That's how I got a key. So it's there. But yeah, they should do an open beta to get more people's hands on it, especially with some people already having been in it. They'll be able to kind of help people. So if they ramp this up well, I do feel they can have something that isn't just a flash in the pan. Something that can actually be there for a while. And with Bungie, they're going to keep supporting it. So
I'm curious if I missed out then, because I got an invite to the Discord. I didn't get an invite
You
to
might
the
have
alpha though.
you might have not followed through, and that's probably why you didn't get it.
Oh,
Because you had to go to the Discord, and then there's on the Discord there's a channel that is alpha access, and then you have to do something.
fair enough. Maybe
Yeah, I just did
next
it day
time.
of, and I got it. So that's all I did.
Nice. Maybe
And I'm
next
very
time.
grateful, Bungie. Thank you so much. I'm having a blast.
Which I mean, that's to be expected. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's Bungie. Like they do shooters. That's what they do. That is their DNA. They are
And this is a good
excel
shooter.
at what they do. So it's not to be surprising. It was just getting over that
It's
initial
everything around
worry.
it. It's the context of the shooter, right? This is a tight shooter, not free flowy power fantasy like Destiny, not as tactical as Valorant, right? It's somewhere in the middle, and it's good, but it's everything around it. So I hope it lands. I hope people can get in and like it, and I hope it, doesn't last less than a week.
You would hope, especially after the previous games to fall under that banner for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have more final thoughts next week. I'll play another week, and then we'll see. But yeah, in a solid spot as of right now.
Nice. Good to hear. Good to hear. Like I said, again, it's something that I've almost been completely oblivious to. So nice to actually hear.
Oblivious.
Oblivious.
More like Oblivion.
Bam. That's what I've been playing.
Your segue.
God, what a game. No, you've been playing Marathon. I've been falling back in love with the worst kept secret in gaming history this year so far. Leaked come out, surprise drop every single day of the month of April, apparently, and then finally dropping this past Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday or Tuesday it was. I love video games, man. I'm a sucker. I get brought up. I'm a sucker for the nostalgia. I want the good old times. Bring me back the old stuff. Make it look nice. I'm all in. Oblivion is still just wonderful. This is I'm saying remake. It's Oblivion Remastered. I'm saying remake with how much they've done. Done by Virtuos, which I was not aware. They're also the studio taking on the Metal Gear Solid Remaster later this year. So screw my fantasy critic because I counter picked that earlier.
I picked that one up. Ha
Yeah. Out now on Xbox, PS5, and PC for $50 or Game Pass. Obviously running an Unreal Engine 5. They have gone complete as expected graphics overhaul, art style overhaul. All expansions are included, including some stuff that was left out of the base game back in the day that you had to use console commands or mods or stuff to actually access on PC. They have opened that stuff up entirely now to console players as well, which is really nice. They have updated the leveling system to be bad, which is dumb, but it's a mix of how leveling worked in Oblivion mixed with Skyrim.
They upgraded it to be bad.
Upgraded to be bad.
Funny.
Yeah, it's still, you sit there and use a healing spell. Your healing's going to go up. And then once you do enough levels and minor skills, your overall level increases. From there, you pick a couple stats to put points into like you would expect. Where they changed now, though, in Skyrim, when you level your blade up to 25 or 50 or 75, you get like a minor perk or something added onto it as an extra skill. They added all that in here now, but they don't necessarily tell you. When you reach a level that does unlock something, nothing happens. You have to go into menus, into your skills, into the individual skills to find out what you actually unlocked. So I'm like, oh, that's a weird little thing I'm not super fan of. Combat animation is completely reworked and redone. Looks super nice. They have added an actual proper over-the-shoulder third-person view if you are a fan of that. They had it originally, but it was kind of like directly behind your person, like an overhead bird's eye view type thing that was weird. So they have both of those options now, which is awesome. And new dodge and parry mechanic system, so you can now properly dodge, which minor, but back then huge. I'll take it. And sprinting is now included, so a couple different ways to play into your play style, and I'm having a blast. I replaying it, just the intro cinematic and the introduction questline that you do holds such a special place in my heart that redoing it again, I was getting kind of emotional. I was like, damn, this was peak gaming for me back then at that point in my life. Like, to the point that I remember like days I was playing this and like what was going on, stuff like just life events tied around specific parts of this game. So having those memories come back to me now has been wonderful to experience. Um the game, outside of the gameplay improvements and art improvements and stuff, for the most part, is almost exactly how it launched back then, bugs and all, which to some people gonna kind of hate, but it kind of gives it the charm. There's infamously a voice actress who is part of, I believe, a main quest, says her line, and then after the line's done, you can hear her straight up say like, "Oh, I didn't like that take. Let me do it again." Clear her throat and say that exact line again without the game moving. They kept that in. It's super awesome. I love it. So stuff like that. The weird stuff is still there. Um, Stuff I think that kind of holds back how the game runs was fixed. So some items have been given um gravity or force, I guess is what you would say. How in Starfield you can like stack items on top of each other and like look at all the sandwiches and stuff. Stuff like that's fixed. There was a infamous thing where you could stack paintbrushes infinitely on top of each other and just create a stairway to heaven, essentially. And it would just lag out the game with how much stuff was happening. So stuff like that's been fixed. But overall, it is Oblivion as you remember, as you loved and enjoyed almost 20 years ago now, in a much more beautiful coat of paint. Um, I'm very early on. I'm probably only 5 hours because I've been playing the next thing we'll talk about. But I'm excited to redo all this. I'm probably going for the completion. One of the DLC packs back then I never actually got around to playing, so I get to experience that for the first time now, you're 20 years later, which is wild to say. But it's doing awesome. It is. I remember watching someone on Twitter was updating player numbers live from Steam the day this dropped, and like I said, a Wednesday or Tuesday midday when most people are at work, just climbing, hundreds of thousands of people playing. Like, people give remasters and stuff shit, but when it's something that's been enough window in between when it came out, people are ready for it. People want to go back to this stuff. And Todd Howard also confirmed they're still working on Elder Scrolls 6 at the beginning of the announcement for this, so still coming in the pipeline. But for now, if you are new in the gaming space or did not experience this back then, Oblivion is available for an okay price, or Game Pass, because Game Pass got out with the games.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I never touched Oblivion. I've
Old game is
not
old.
played deep into a Elder Scrolls game. So yeah, I booted this up, got out of the dungeon, walked around, said, "Damn, this looks crazy. This is really cool. It's a really cool visual upgrade that's beyond what that sentence even means, right? Like you use it's a remake, remastered. It's they call it remastered, but man, you put it up against other remasters, and they do so much more. There's a lot of love and attention to it. Which shout out to the studio for doing that. Shout out for them taking the time and like you've played it, you have memories tied to it, and they improve it and step on their toes in a lot of ways with it too. But ultimately, like the nostalgia still remains and it doesn't ruin that. So hell yeah, that's awesome. I'm not gonna beat this. I uninstalled it. I was like,
Oh
all right,
no.
cool. Yeah, no, dude, I do not need a Bethesda RPG right now, and I just don't care. So maybe one day, but like there's so much playing, there's so much going on. I know I'm not gonna get deep into this. So
Were you
maybe one
able to
day.
tell? I've been trying to look it up, but I can't find for sure or not. So they added new voice acters because their original only had like 4 or 5, so it was the same like 2 guys for every single person in the game, except the main Uriel Septim, the king guy you're with at in the prison here at the beginning, was voiced by Patrick Stewart back then. I think they recast him, right? Because that did not sound super Patrick Stewart to me.
Yeah, I kind of zoned out there. He was talking a lot, and I didn't care.
He wants to tell you a story. He sees you in his dreams.
So yeah, he's like an old man, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Be curious.
Oh my god, a rat! I was looking at the stream. But yeah, no, that's awesome. It's cool. It's crazy. Like something of this level just drops into Game Pass, and like the long rumored one. But I hope more studios can do these remasters of this level, right? Not just here's another one, but like, whoa, like a big upgrade in visual and touching systems, but not too much. That's cool. I wonder where if Bethesda goes to or no, this is Virtuous. Never mind. It's fat. I forget what other podcast mentioned this, but someone mentioned now putting a Bethesda game engine game on and then doing Unreal to up-res and fix it. Like that's fascinating. I was like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. Like it would still be the Bethesda base engine, and then they're used. Like I wonder how that works. So not really a conversation, just a topic. Just a comment.
I guess I haven't even thought of I haven't felt any different with the switch to Unreal Engine 5. Like, obviously it's smoother all the way around, but like it's not like a jarring like, oh, this is an.
What if it's just layered on top of it, and then the visuals are all Unreal 5, where the game is just the game underneath it. Anyways, that's a technical thing. Who knows? Howard, let us know.
Let us know. Come to the podcast. Yeah, what a time though. I've been doing the crazy thing. My girlfriend's been watching me obviously play, and I have the original 360 version on my Xbox. So I'm like going to iconic areas in the remaster and then quickly switching over to the 360 one to do like live comparisons. I'm like, look at it, look at the difference.
That's so funny that you did. I love that.
God, I'm so happy. And to say my fantasy critic too, like again, it was rumored. This has been happening for a while. I took the bet on it for easy points. It happened. Now it's out. Now we sit and wait patiently for the Fallout 3 remaster in the same vein. And oh boy, we thought Oblivion was doing good. Fallout 3 is going to kill it.
You think Fallout 3 is going to do good? New Vegas. You'd have to imagine Fallout 3 or whatever remaster comes, it's coinciding with the show.
You would hope after they dropped that at the season 1.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they dropped it. I just think it wasn't ready. So they just not dropping it.
Dropped the opportunity.
Dropping it would be if you released it like a month and a half after the show and you're like, oh, like, you know, like there's a window after. It's like, yeah, you dropped it. Like that's a little too late. Like, no, we never were planning this. Y'all are insane. Why did you expect this?
Yeah.
We didn't think you guys were going to love it this much.
Thanks for the extra money, though.
Here's Fallout 76. Oh, you really don't want to play that? All right, fine. They did have something ready to go.
To be fair, it got me into it. For
we got into it. That's fair, you know. All right.
Last thing for this week.
An expedition.
An arguably unexpected expedition. Expedition 33 has now also dropped everywhere, also including Game Pass, to absolutely bonkers reviews, critic scores, reception, player base, whatever metric you want to use for success. This is actively punching through those glass ceilings with ease, and I am honestly shocked at that. This was, again, revealed originally at the Xbox Showcase last year, and was kind of my oh shit moment. Like, what was this weird turn-based real-time action combat thing going on? Eventually found out it is essentially alternate reality type Paris situation. Paintress is at a monolith. Each year paints down a number. Everyone of that age is essentially wiped from the face of the earth. People each year go out on expeditions in an attempt to stop them, leaving journals behind of their information, encounters they've come across to help the next generation out. And you are taking up that mantle as Expedition 33. to stop the Paintress and whole lots of twists and turns. I personally am 12 hours in,
Jesus.
which
I figured I saw you've been playing a lot.
I've been playing a lot, but I almost dropped it after the first two and uninstalled.
Oh my god, that would have been dumb of you. I'm happy you didn't. That's too early.
It's
All right, well,
the
tell me about it because I'm about 2 to 3 hours in. I got to the continent, got some cutscenes, did one fight, but I still only have two people in my party, Gustav and Lune. So I'm still early on for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
So that seems like around the window you might have jumped off. So
Yeah.
I have loved every second of it so far. The onboarding, the world, the story, like the gameplay so far, the rhythm. Like I'm really down for it, but early on. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, it's weird. Even now being as far as I am in, I'm still not sure at what level I'm enjoying this, which is weird to say when I've been sinking hours into it, but it's been more of not necessarily out of spite, but I've put so much time in, I need to see it through at this point now. Um, yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, as you mentioned. I'm on the edge on that, even though, where a lot of the character models and facial expressions and the emotions they're trying to get across are like teetering on uncanny valley for me to a point I'm like, oh, that looks really creepy and freaky. I don't like it. Um, Mael, you've met her, the redhead at the beginning entrance. Her especially, almost every scene she's in, it's like weird porcelain doll, creepy doll energy from your grandma's house energy going on. Don't really like it.
Just a teenager.
I don't. She's freaky. Um, and yeah, it's the sceneries and set pieces are so jam packed with cool set pieces and stuff going on around them that it keeps your interest. And then at a point of seeing so much of that in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is a lot of Unreal Engine 5 stuff thrown in here, which isn't bad, but it feels like this is like a starter set for other studios to use and use assets from type thing. Where as cool as the stuff is to look at, a lot of it's not super memorable for me so far. It's kind of a, oh yeah, look at that weirdly distorted building, or look at this choice of a plant or something going on, and it's not. A lot of the places haven't been memorable for me, where I want to go back and explore them, or I want to go back and learn the history if there what little there of it there is. So every part of the game, it's like any given moment, I could absolutely be okay with it, and then being on the edge, I don't want more of this, which is a weird thing to say when so many people are falling in love with it and praising every single aspect that I'm kind of hitting my head on with such satisfaction and just praise. Like, it's a weird place to be. I'm solid. There's 3 acts. I'm solidly right before probably an hour or two away from starting Act 3. So I'm finish lines there. Um, I'll be curious to revisit it when I'm done and give full thoughts, because there's so much that it's just, yeah, up in the air. Story beats that they want to be emotional. I'm like, okay, cool. You've been teasing this one thing for like the past 2-3 hours. We finally got the payoff, and we're moving on immediately to the next thing. So there's a lot of other minute things I could nitpick, but um, to end my thoughts, combat is the other thing, which to no surprise is my biggest issue again for a title this year, to a point that I about 4 or 5 hours I dropped it to the story mode difficulty. Like, I every single encounter, boss or not, was ending in death and restarting and death and restarting and switching equipment and restarting, and the window they give you for the counter and parry system is so minuscule that it got to the point where it's not rewarding for me to hit those, and you need to succeed in most battles. Um, and then it snowballs on itself. not major spoilers, but the one parry you have eventually turns into 5 different variations you need to be on the lookout for, and just it was too much, and I dropped it. The story mode and have had a way better time going through. The difficulty's still there, boss health is still there, damage seems to be all the same. It's literally just changes that parry window, which is all I needed, I guess, to keep going.
Yeah. You know, that was like it was learning the enemy attacks and the triggers and when to parry. It's very timing based, Sekiro like. That was like the most frustrating part for sure. Not to the point where I was like, man, I'm just like, I'm a hell yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna get that. Because yeah, when you do hit that parry, that counter, especially when you do get a counter move, so strong and it's so satisfying, especially when it's like back to back to back. Like some of the attacks, like at least I've gotten so far, have like 3 like boom boom boom. So you're like timing it. It's like I like that. So that hasn't frustrated me there. But listening to other reviewers too, it seems like it does ramp up where it's not just dodging 2 attacks or just 1 or parry. It's like you get 5 to 6 in a row, and it's like, oh shit! Like if you fuck up early in that type of thing, all of a sudden you're gonna get knocked back. So, all right, I can tell there's a challenge to this game outside of just like being an RPG and you need to grind and whatnot. It's like no, this is more timing based, more skill based stuff here, the action side of the gameplay. So we'll see how it keeps going for me, but. Not that the way, yeah, I'm not surprised this is how you feel after you kind of described them like that. That makes sense and kind of where you're at. And
which sucks because like the combat's fun, like super flashy, looks great, the animations are cool, like it's all there. It's literally just that one thing. I'm like, I want to enjoy this. I'm not trying to sweat my ass off playing through this
yeah,
story. And I'm curious when you get, if you stick with it, how further you get through.
yeah,
At the amount of sort of different gameplay systems at play. Every single character has their own sort of mini game you play around as far as assets and abilities and how they manage resources. So those are fun to learn. Um the passive system in the game is absolutely wild. You will get what are they, Pocos or something? You equip
Pictos.
Pictos, thank you. You can equip 3 of them on each character. After 5 battles, you unlock it as a passive for everybody else. But you have to have another resource built up that's kind of like, oh, I have 44 points of this. This dodging Picto costs 1. Put that in. This one costs 3. Put that in. So you're managing that. Gets to be very overwhelming. I'm at the point now where all of my characters have about 50 to 60 lumina, which is the resource for that. And you're having like 15, 20 passives lined up at once. So trying to manage who has what, which ones you want to kind of double up on for people, that gets to be a game in of itself essentially. Because, oh, this is a different party system. I want to have more kind of health gain from this, or have stronger effects from parries, or stronger effects from dodge. So I think people who want a super in-depth system from an RPG, that is enough to cover bases here, because it is like there's something like 300 plus in the game to go for, which is wild. So it's good. I'm sitting at a good right now. I'm not super in love. It's not a great for me yet. Maybe that'll change as the story progresses, but again, 12 hours in for a couple days so far. Yeah, the past 2 nights it has been
Yeah, you put it in.
mainlining till like 3 a.m. just putting it hours.
I know. I've been seeing you. I'm like, well, there he goes. He's still going on Clara. I'm like, he's really going to. I want to keep playing more. But with marathon being 2 weeks, I really have prioritized getting chunks of that in. So we can talk about it on this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So far, there's no reason I'm not gonna go back to Clair Obscure. I just like I said, the onboarding, the world building that they did right at the beginning and throughout, and it's cool. And then obviously, you know, kind of what's happening, like with Gustav, like that's in the trailer, right? That moment right at the beginning with Sophie. She's old, unfortunately. She's that age. It's gonna get wiped. I'm so sorry. It's in the trailers. It's not a spoiler. What happens after that? I was like, whoa, okay, game. All right, look, Andy Serkis. Oh no, Andy Serkis. What are you doing to me? So
yeah.
I like that. Like the story. Did not expect that. Did not expect kind of when he's like, I'm just gonna join my people as well. Like that, I'm being vague for spoilers. But yeah, and then when you get your second teammate that joins you, like that context of that zone, what's happening to bodies, I was like, ooh, what's the bigger story here? So I'm on board. I'm down for it. This is the studio's first game. About 30 people working on it. Or like that's crazy small game, and they get 9s and 10s across the board, and at least be like, this game, no matter what, is impressive. And it might not be for you, but it sounds like you at least can be like, I see it, but not for me. Potentially fully.
Yeah, 100%.
So congrats to the studio for like achieving what they set out to do. And Charlie Cox, Robert Pattinson should have been like, my wife was sitting here was like, that looks just like Robert Pattinson. I was like, Hannah, you have no idea. Apparently he was supposed to be.
Was he?
That's what I keep hearing.
I believe it.
It looks just like him. I don't see it, and then I see it really, really hard. But the voice cast so far really good. Still haven't met a ton of people, but yeah, I will keep playing this.
Yeah, and again, it's fairly short. I think it's like
30-hour mark.
Hours,
about.
Yeah, so definitely
not like a 80, 90, 120 plus hour Persona.
Yeah, your Persona 3 adventure.
Dude, it's installed on both my consoles, and I just can't admit there's too much going on. I gotta play another Persona like first.
Another Persona Light? What are we?
Like, no, sorry. I guess what
I thought you had one on the back burner.
I can't play Persona. I'm playing a different Persona. I'm playing another game that's like Persona first player.
There you go. I was about to say, I was like, you're playing secret games. He's got codes.
Yeah. I wish. No. I mean, hey, Game Pass this week. Crazy couple weeks for Game Pass. We still got 2 weeks to. What is it? Doom? Is that the next one? I can't even keep track. We got Hourborn next week as well, which is a co-op game we should hop into.
Is that finally coming out?
It's a preview, yeah. The 29th enters Game Pass for everyone. So Castle Crashers style like game. I might have played it at one point in a thing. I'm not sure if I signed an NDA, but maybe I didn't play it. I can't confirm.
Allegedly.
Good time. Yeah, I'm not sure. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, man, Game Pass, just so many games and hard to commit to stuff, especially with Marathon just sitting there now.
Yeah, it's everyone is pointing to it, but this is the moment where like Xbox is on all gears and everything's falling in place how it should, whether it's first party, third party deals, marketing deals, whatever it be. And they're playing the field. It did the Doom reveal for levels and stuff with PlayStation this week. Like they're putting stuff where they know it's going to get eyes and doing the best things they need to do for them for success in their studios. So
a case by case basis, almost
case by case
makes the most sense. Hard to explain.
Multiple times.
Hard. Yeah, goes over people's heads multiple times.
Doom is May 15th. So yeah, 2 weeks.
That's crazy. I probably won't even be done with Claire.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Possibly.
To end us off here, Kyle.
Yes.
Gonna do something for you online audience, you online chronically ill TikTok people. Give us the views, you young generation. A lot of different gaming stuff on TikTok, different gaming channels that have popped up. People have essentially started to create it into their this generation's YouTube channels, which is wild to say because YouTube is still such a massive part for games, media, games, influencers, whatever it be. So we're gonna do a little tip of the hat nod to Co-op 64 on TikTok. They do a bunch of different stuff, so draft stuff over there, obvious reaction stuff, guess the game type stuff, just fun little mini games to do, essentially. Mini games for real life. So I have lined up a few games we're going to quickly break down on whether we think the hype for them is warranted. They are rightfully sitting at their place in history, or if they're sitting a little too low. People don't give them the time of day that they probably rightfully should. And they're all in an overarching category I will reveal at the end I pulled up. But our first one, very topical with the show right now. Last of Us Part 2.
Overrated.
Overrated. Overrated.
Massively overrated.
Are you saying that on the based off the first one, or just in general?
Well, you said The Last of Us Part 2, I thought.
Oh, I did say Last of Us Part 2, but like when you're looking at The Last of Us Part 2, overrated as an individual title, or like based
It's
off
overrated because it's treated as if it like elevated games to an echelon massively above what it already was, when all it did was just elevate it, right? It's regarded as one of these titles that does so much, when you actually just look at the story, it's a decent story that kind of seems like it loses it in part 2, and kind of part 1 was such a success, and it sounds like part 2 just kind of got bloated in a lot of ways and doesn't seem like they have an idea where the ending actually is. So I think it's still good. Not saying that. I think it is, but I don't think it is a must play game for everyone. I don't think it is the end of it. Doesn't seem, everything I've seen of it, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I would agree. Especially
You stopped playing it.
I haven't even
right?
started.
Oh no, okay, it was part 1 that
Part
you
1,
got
yeah,
it.
I stopped and went back to last year. Talked about that, didn't land for me. What you said though, where people hold it to like high regard as if it changed everything, I feel like that's kind of an overarching idea for a lot of PlayStation stuff. Just
Nostalgia.
Could be just for it being first party though. Like every game at that point of launch is, this is the greatest thing of all time. This is revolutionary. Like, cool, it's good. It's great. There's great parts here, but a lot of the stuff, it's kind of by the numbers. Not necessarily Last of Us 2, but your Spider-Mans and Horizons and stuff. Like, very copy-paste one-to-one.
Yeah, because they following a template where that was revolutionary, that did define and did, break barriers, for lack of a better term here. It did do that, but when you just iterate and iterate and iterate, it does become redundant. And yeah, things can look real pretty and you can really make things cool and fluffed out, but at some point it still is what it is. That the genre still is a genre, a third-person action game, and you can only do so much for it. Yeah.
Fair enough. The next title, also very topical, as we just finished its sequel recently, It Takes Two, which I'm putting at, it's sitting nice and comfy where it should. I don't think people overhype it to a point that it's reaching unimaginable goals. I think the praise and reception for it is rightfully deserved. I even said I enjoy it way more than Split Fiction for what it does as far as a co-op experience and kind of pushing that forward. So I think It Takes Two is rightfully well regarded as it should be.
Yeah, no, I agree. If you overhype it, I think it loses the charm, because it's just a great co-op game, and there's a lot of issues within that, right? But it has those issues because it is a co-op game first and foremost, right? So yeah, it's a great game, definitely a game of the year style game for sure, but don't overhype it. It's well hyped.
Well, number 3, shooting at you, Elden Ring. FromSoft's crown jewel itself.
Moderate. I think it's perfectly, or whatever the phrase, middle one. Justly hyped for what it does. Some people overhype it, but I think generally it's not overhyped.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards over, but that's just my feelings for FromSoft and their titles as a whole.
Now, if the question was FromSoft,
Yeah,
it definitely is closer to overhyped because yeah, it is like, oh yeah, anything. And it's like, all right, calm down. Like,
it's this. A lot of what I said for PlayStation could be said for them too, where it's new title, immediate game of the year contender. This is gonna be this year's shit. I'm like, you guys haven't even like, come on. It could change stuff. You get the multiplayer games though. That's what you get. You get Night Rain
man,
and
freaking Night
Duskblood.
Rain still comes out this May. Oh my god, forgot about that. That's crazy. Yeah, Elden Ring, hyped, justly hyped.
Justly hyped. Our fourth out of our 5 titles, Baldur's Gate 3, which I'm personally leaning on right and overhyped. I think in a year or two, it would lean more towards rightfully so. Um, I haven't played it. We talked about last year. I started my journey on New Year's. We never finished it. I never went back. But I really think that in the next few years, we're going to see a lot of games taking inspiration and pull from what people fell in love with on that. That it is kind of changing that specific genre for RPGs. I don't think everyone's going to do it, but I think you're going to see a lot of clones. You're going to see a lot of inspiration because it was everyone's shit for a while, and that's what people want to kind of chase and recapture now, years later.
I think it's overhyped.
Ooh.
I think the people who have beat it are very, very loud and rightfully so. But I think for the style of game it is, the majority of people will not get into it, unfortunately. If the majority of people try it, a good chunk will be like, oh my God, I love this type of, like, this is great. I need games like this. But yeah, I just don't think the majority of people can get past a tactical game like that as well to get into the story, get into the choices and everything. Does that mean a game can be? Is that part of a game's hype? And not? I don't know. That's how I'm attributing it to it, though. So I think it is overhyped as this is one of the best games. Everyone should play it. I don't think everyone should play it because some people will be like, "This is a waste of my money. This is not the type of game I want."
Yeah, I think for your casual audience, it's a very hard sell because it is so demanding of your time and attention and the variety of things you can do. But for that audience and the people who want that hardcore, immerse me in every single aspect of this type thing, I think it sits. Last one,
Yeah.
my precious baby boy, Astrobot.
Overhyped.
I'm gonna agree, sadly. uh, Obviously, my game of the year last year, absolutely fell in love. Um, I feel a lot of that, sadly, is due to what also came out around it, and that was the one that just kind of captured the magic and imagination of everyone's wants. Like I mentioned with Oblivion, people want those feel good memories again. You bring us new solid platformer, 3D platformer that's not an expected Mario type thing, like people are gonna fall in love with it, but up against a lot of other well-regarded titles, it's a 3D platformer. Like that's what it is. It's uses the dual sense to varying degrees of success, but overall it's not necessarily changing or breaking what a 3D platformer can be to me. But again, my game of the year, but I still, yeah, overhyped on my end.
Yeah, I think if you got more Astrobot and too much Astrobot, you'd be like, all right. Like, and I think it's very quickly you can get there. So I think they're almost at peak, but we could be totally wrong with that. But yeah, I think there's a loud, almost, yeah, there's people who love it, right? And play Astrobot. It's like, oh my God, like we need more of this. And it's like, yeah. But also if you got more, it might not be as good. So just accept it for what it is. We don't need to have more of what this is. What this is good. Some say even great. Like, right? So yeah, it's overhyped. But also, I haven't played any of them, so I just don't have any care for Astrobot. So, is that bias? I can't tell. I
Maybe,
doubt it.
but
Maybe it's Maybelline.
maybe. God, what the hell? Those were the last 5 Game of the Year winners at the Game Awards.
Oh,
Looked
you didn't
back
even
on.
let me guess.
I
Would not have guessed it though.
oh, see,
That makes sense. I was yeah.
little fun thing to end us off here as we send you guys off on a hopefully wonderful week of gaming, catching up on all the titles that came out this week. And Towerborn, I guess now I gotta download that. Find some time.
Yep.
Kyle, what are you gonna be up to this week outside of your marathoning goodness?
Oh, just marathoning. Yeah.
Just marathon. Fair enough.
Just yeah, another week in the beta, May 4th that ends. So I don't know if they'll do new codes this week for people. That would be interesting if they got more people in tomorrow, like another wave, or if this is it for people getting in. But yeah, I'll be playing more marathon, doing that good stuff. We'll see, maybe Towerborn later this week if we get to it. But I also do want to get through Expedition 30.
Nice. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I need to get back into streaming. I need to find a good streaming game is what I need to do and get back to that because it's been so focused on YouTube videos and TikToks and shorts and stuff like that for both of us.
Yeah.
Like too much to do, not enough time to manage.
Yep.
But
You should play Minecraft.
I downloaded it last week again, actually.
That's funny.
I went to
Everyone
the
does.
movie and I got that itch and I was like, no, I cannot. Also, that movie's very bad. Don't waste your money. Don't go waste your time.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I'm actually going to probably see it at some point. I'm gonna do like the AMC movie thing with all the like Marvel movies coming out soon. I'm gonna time it out where I pay $20, get 4 movies a week. All right, I'll make my money's worth.
Nice.
I looked up a ticket to go see Sinners. It was $17, and I was like, all right, I'll just pay $3 more and see potentially 16 movies in 1 month.
Gross. If I live in the
Crazy.
city, I would not be going at all. Here it's like $6-7 a ticket still. Great time.
Yeah, that's nice. And it was like a normal showing.
Damn.
Just 2 in the afternoon.
If you're one of those kids yelling and clapping at the Minecraft movie, seek help. Ruined the bad experience I was already having with that movie.
Or you got more people to go to a theater and saving cinema.
No.
I know.
Leave me
There's a
alone.
line. There's a line where that stuff is fun, and there's a line where you cross it, and it is just too much and rude and disrespectful. And
So
there's firecrackers being launched. That's too far.
We didn't have that. We had people like up and literally like jumping up and down and throwing shit like.
Yeah, the throwing shit and everywhere and not clean. That sucks.
Yeah, bastards.
Now, what if you did it and then as the movie end, you all got out your little brooms and swept? That would be fun.
Child labor.
That was the
baby.
oldest ass sentence I've ever said. I've never sounded like an old man than saying it would be fun if we all pulled out our brooms and cleaned up after ourselves.
God, we'll be cleaning up after ourselves next week on the download queue. Episode 66 is finished. Now we are getting out of this hellhole we will put ourselves in. Thank you for joining us live. Remember, we will be available YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, all the major streaming platforms with shorts and breakouts uploaded to YouTube and TikTok throughout the week. Stop by, drop us some love. We've got a couple of new subscribers this week, so thank you all for joining us on the YouTube side of things. We'll catch you all next week. Happy gaming.